we do a lot of corporate headshots. I can snap those all day, do 40 people in an hour. But I love those shoots that are especially impactful to me is when we've sat down and really gotten to the heart of what we're trying to accomplish and knowing the person, getting to know the person. And that's bringing out their confidence, bringing out their story. So that's just really exciting to me. How do you do that visually? How do you take someone's story and turn it into a picture?
Here we are today at the Utah Business Spotlight. I'm your host, Peter Anthony. I am super excited. I'm with my friend Monica, and she owns a company that is one of the most important companies you have to use here in Utah. It is absolutely essential. It's called PhotoUmbra.com. And the importance of it is headshots. So you're going to like, you're going to subscribe, you're going to share. We're going to work this through with Monica. We're going to talk about what makes her company unique and special and why it's important to you. Monica, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
And you're a fellow Italian, which I love.
I am.
Molto bene. So let's talk about Photo Umbra. Tell me, how did this come about? I mean, it's telling a story for an entrepreneur using pictures is the most essential thing, and they all forget to do it because their kids took a picture of them. They're trying to use that, and now they're trying to use AI so they look like a Viking, and it's terrible, right? So how did you get started?
Well, my journey started a long time ago, back in college, so about 30 years ago, but I would say my current journey, it's evolved over time. You know, I was a jack of all trades as far as photography for many, many years. And then over the last 7 or 8 years, really found my niche and love working with entrepreneurs, business owners, anybody that wants to succeed in business. That's who we've worked with primarily. And so we've just developed a system and messaging through our photography that can help take them to the next level. And it's just really exciting.
I love what you're doing. So one of the things, and I know you were at one of our incubator events this week, which was super cool. You're all invited to come to the incubator if you're a business owner. But what I think a lot of people don't know is the importance of changing your social profile every 6 to 8 weeks, because it reinfuses your entire base and it resets your algorithm. Guys, if you're not changing your profile picture every 6 to 8 weeks, you're making a big mistake. It's the easiest thing you could do in your marketing. And what I see people doing, they change it with some picture of like them and their spouse, on a vacation with Disneyland in the background and, the ketchup stains on their shirt. Terrible.
Right. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
But you have this really cool way of telling stories with pictures. Tell us a little about that.
Sure. I mean, beyond the headshot, which I always tell people, I feel like that's like the handshake, right? The very first time you meet somebody is usually the headshot. And then as your relationship grows, they're seeing more images and communicating more of their brand story and what they do, what they offer their audience. And so, we do a little bit of everything, all the way from that very first impression that you get with the headshot to the branding. And it was a natural progression into that and especially for a lot of our clients where they come to us just for a headshot and then they see how powerful those images can be and how they connect to their audience.
And it's something, if you don't have the right, so we obviously are a marketing agency. If you don't have the right branding components, you've stifled everything. And it's the smallest, it's of all of the investments. If you come to us, you're talking about a 6-12 month investment.
Right.
And then if you give us nothing, how do you get more out of that investment?
Right. Yeah.
You just can't do it.
It's true.
So what I love about the way you describe the headshots that you do and the photo branding that you do is you do it in a way that tells the story of the individual as it relates to the company.
Mm-hmm.
And you position that person to be the clear leader of
Right.
that company. So you're bringing out that underlying brand story, and only great photography can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. Tell me
Absolutely.
more about how you got inspired to pick up a camera.
It was just always an interest, kind of took it from grandpa and my dad. They both loved photography. And I thought, I'm going to make a business out of this. So started, in college, learning all of the trades of it. And then as it's
Always
grown,
digital, or did you ever start
oh,
with
no,
film?
no. Film. Yeah. Yeah. It was all film for a long time and had a hard time switching to digital because there was that nostalgia. But so glad I did. And I love photography for that because the technological advances are constant. And to me, that's exciting. Like, I feel like I'm a constant student in this field.
When you're taking shots, are you doing it in their environment, or do you have a separate environment?
Both. We offer
Both.
both. So
Tell
we
us
have
about
a
that.
we have a studio that's in Herriman, and we have a lot of different sets, very similar to the studio that you work from here. And we offer different environments there that we can curate depending on what they need. But we also go out on site. So we have a mobile studio set up that it's always packed up, ready to throw in the car and go out and set it up at their office or set it up at their, wherever they work from and capture.
I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
Because I think it's so important, because sometimes you're working with entrepreneurs that really, like, this is a very unique environment.
Yeah,
My office is a very unique environment. I want to be seen in my office, and it needs to be lit properly, and those
absolutely.
pictures need to be very professional. And then aside from that, if you're a salon owner or if you're a restaurateur, you want to make sure that you can get yourself in the element,
Yeah.
but it needs to be professionally done. That's where you come in and really are an expert at. I mean, we've looked through your portfolio. It's awesome, man. I love how you do what you do. But there's a lot of photographers. There's a tremendous amount of photographers. They're out there. They're doing it. What advice do you give to those young startup people who are trying to make their way in this art?
I think starting from the end. So what I mean by that is getting very clear on what your end goal is. Like, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have? What kind of money do you want to make? What kind of client experience do you want to live? And then build systems backwards. What do I need to do to accomplish this? To deliver the best quality, what do I need to have in place to reach that goal? What is the best systems for client experience? How do I set my business up to protect myself, to protect my clients? And then work backwards and come up with systems. I think I did it the opposite way, and it took a long time. So my recommendation would be like, see where you want to end up and evaluate that and create the systems that are going to help you get there.
I love that. We love reverse engineering processes, especially from the point of where you want to be.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the same advice I'd give, is determine how you look, feel, and interact with the future, and then ask yourself, what are the processes and decisions that led me up to the point of happiness? So I think that's super cool. In what you do, tell us, has there been a moment in your career where you thought, man, I just made the wrong decision. This is too hard. It's costing too much. It's not turning out quite the way it needs to, and it's putting a tremendous amount of stress on me and my family. And how did you overcome that feeling?
I'm glad you asked that because I've had my studio for 23 years or so. And over that course of time, there have been many moments like that. And I think that's why it's so important if you're just starting out to, reverse engineer where you want to end up, because I didn't do that. So there was a lot of time where I would go down one path and hit a road or hit a dead end, basically, where I thought, this isn't working the way I want to, or it's too straining on my personal life. So I didn't have good boundaries set up. And it resulted actually in a major burnout around 2012, 2013, where if the phone would ring, I would just dread it. Like, did not want to see a camera, didn't
all
want to
been
take
there.
one, just things like that. So yeah, just setting up those boundaries. And again, just the processes to keep things moving and keep you moving in the direction that you're passionate about, that you're seeing results and profitability.
I think for young people watching, there's going to be a moment where or multiple moments, where you're doubting the process. And it's at those moments that I find you're the closest to the goal, not the furthest. If you're playing football on a football field, American football, if you start at the 1 yard line, you have 99 yards to go. You have an open field. It's very hard for the defense to really interact with you because you have so much opportunity. There's so many choices. But when you get down to the 1 yard line, they pretty much know what you're going to do, and their goal is to keep you out of the goal, right? They don't want you in the zone. So what I find is life is similar. Like you're working, there's so many choices in the front that get you down very quickly, but there's only a few choices in the end. Mm-hmm. And you have to make those decisions. And quite frankly, let's say in photography, you're starting out. The top 10 photographers in Utah are not worried about you. You're one of 1,000 people starting out. They don't even know you exist. Mm-hmm. Then you get a little better. You're one of 500 now that are making a living. And then you're one of 100. And then all of a sudden you're one of 20. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, we've heard, because now you're competing for the actual business.
Right. Yeah.
And they're going to hold strong. They're going to, by nature, become more competitive, which would make it harder for you because they have strong, indoctrinated processes for closing clients, for marketing, for bringing in business. So if you're competing against people who are polished and seasoned, you're going to lose a lot of those battles because they're already seasoned to win them. Mm-hmm. But if you stay the course, you will join the elite. Mm. If you quit, you'll never know.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing to work with you. Tell me what, some of the stuff that you do is a little avant-garde. It's a little bit more moody than other. It has more emotional impact. That's what draws me to your work, right? It's not, homogenized.
Thank you.
Right. And I love that artistic value that you put to it because you really make people look epic.
Well, thank you.
And it's really, really cool. It's not generic. It's just cool. How did you develop that?
Well, as a foundation, I was an art history major and I specialized in photography. So just exposure to the arts throughout my young
Who's your favorite
career.
Artist? Your favorite classical artist?
Photography-wise.
Not photography, art.
Well,
fine art.
I'm going to say this is fine art because Julia Margaret Cameron, she was actually one of the first photographers, but her work is art. It's beautiful. It's emotional. Was just done at a time that it was super hard, not only for women, but just in general. The craft was so new.
Yeah.
So she's been a big inspiration to me.
That's so cool.
But yeah.
That's really cool. We'll throw some stuff up of hers, We'll probably get in trouble for copyright, but it'll be fine. It'll only be up for a second. But we want to show you who she was and what she did. I love that. What's your favorite type of picture to take?
I think where my favorite type is where there's a little bit of challenge involved. We do a lot of corporate headshots. I can snap those all day, do 40 people in an hour. But I love those shoots that are especially impactful to me is when we've sat down and really gotten to the heart of what we're trying to accomplish and knowing the person, getting to know the person, and that's bringing out their confidence, bringing out their story. So that's just really exciting to me. How do you do that visually? How do you take someone's story and turn it into a picture?
And you do a great job of that. It's so cool. It's so cool to talk to an actual artist, somebody who's studied the craft for so long and is really a student of the craft, which I think is so rare because of digital photography. I grew up in film, so we had to place everything, and then we wouldn't find out if it was cool for a week.
Yeah.
If you were lucky.
Right.
Right. And it was like, oh man, those hairs are out of place. What are we going to do? We got to redo the shoot.
Yeah.
Or the lighting was off. Tell me, and this will be the last question. We'll wrap it up. And thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah,
you are amazing. If I'm somebody thinking about, well, I don't really know. There's so many shy people that don't think that they're going to take a good picture, but they really need them. What do you have to say to those people?
I'd say that's very normal, first of all. Don't worry about it. We rarely have somebody that comes in that is a professional model or anything like that. We work with people from all backgrounds. But we do have a system in place to really put them at ease and help them look great, leave confident, feel good about themselves. And that system involves getting to know them, of course, ahead of time, finding out their goals, being really clear on that. And then I do work always with an assistant, and I'm very picky about my assistants because they're my people person. I'm very busy doing a lot of the technical things and making sure the shot looks perfect with the lighting and the camera settings, positioning, angles, that kind of thing. And I don't want them to feel left behind. I'm behind a camera a lot of times. There's space. And so that's important, been an important investment for me for a long time, is to have that assistant who's right up close, fixing the hair to talking to them. What are you self-conscious about? And we do take time before every shoot to find out those things to help them put at ease. Sometimes it's just hiding an angle that they don't love about themselves, or
no chubby bellies.
Nope. Nope. And if you do have one, that's okay. We have tips to work around it, and just we coach you through the whole thing. So it's not, it's not just here you go, just stand there and look how you do.
And that's what I love about what you do and how you do it. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today. It's photoumbra.com.
Yes.
Guys, click on it. Find her. She is a genius with a camera and the lenses. She's going to take your whole corporate story, your entrepreneurial journey. She's going to help you document it and share it with the world. Thank you so much, Monica.
Thanks,
we
Peter.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Like, subscribe, and share. Now.